Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. It's a special show. It's a recap of 2019 and a look forward to 2020. So stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo and the Year in Review
everybody.
show.
You know, it's hard to believe that the year's gone by so fast. I mean, it's like, Christmas is coming up in just a few days, and it's just been a remarkable year. A lot going on. It never stops.
Absolutely, and of course it takes great partners, and one of our great partners is Harborside as a first segment sponsor, and we want to appreciate them for all that they do. Lakeside Dining over there in Winter Haven, and really good food, by the way.
Great food, great view. I mean, it's one of the few places where you can go dine and look at, all the beautiful lakes that we have.
Of course, you got there, and you also have the Elite Cable Park now in Auburndale with Tantrums, so you definitely want to check that out. Just right next to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park in Auburndale. Well, as we look at this first segment, 2019 was a fantastic year for sports tourism as well as tourism in general in Polk County, and this show serves as a great vehicle for us to promote some of the events going on here in Polk County. Some of them are local, some are outside events that have been recruited to Polk County, and you look at this list of our first featured guests from 2019, and it's unbelievable, Hank.
Well, you start off with the first Lego League, and what an event that was this year. And then Dr. Michelle Henney with Releve Sports Medicine. And
which is an important part of what tourism and sports marketing does, because you bring these events in, you have to make sure that these athletes have what they need, whether it's athletic trainers or for some of the other events when you get into like national governing bodies, you're looking at high performance training and things like that. So it's an important part.
Well, and Dr. Michelle Henney has worked with some of the best professional teams, in the country. So she's an expert at sports medicine and a great person to have around.
Well, it's fantastic. But you know what? This special edition of Sports Central, you don't need to hear Hank and Neal talking about it. Let's look at the action. Let's look at the interviews, and we'll be right back here on Sports Central.
How do kids join and get involved?
Great question. So First Lego League is a national, or actually an international organization. They can go to firstlegoleague.org. Locally, you can go to centralfloridarobotics.org, and we have information on our website about how to start a team and steps that you can use in kind of gaining a mindset of how to do this. Robotics is something that all students should have access to, and many times we see that parents or even educators feel that, robotics, this is way too advanced for us to do this. That is absolutely not true. Yeah. There are so many great steps, and the partnership that First Lego League has with Lego Education, it really does lend itself to teaching everyone, students of all ages, how to begin coding and go from there.
So this is a regional championship.
Yes,
Polk
sir,
State College, and the date again was
the Sunday, February 17th.
Is this a qualifier for something else? Or are they going somewhere else down the road?
Yes. So actually, we will have our highest award winners, our champion award winners. Will actually move on. One of which will be competing in Houston at the first World Championships, which will take place in April.
So I am chair of Light Up the Night 5K. This is a fundraising event for the Junior League of Greater Winter Haven, and we're going to be having our biggest fundraiser of the year in downtown Winter Haven on March 1st.
And so tell us about all the different divisions that people can participate in doing this event.
Absolutely. So we take all comers when it comes to a 5K. We've got walkers, joggers, people with strollers, people in wheelchairs rolling. So we take all comers of all ages.
So there's a senior division for Hank, right?
We go all the way up to 80 years plus.
Oh, good. I still have about 40 years to go.
Oh, In your head. So it's running, jogging, walking, 5K. But I think the neat thing is it's downtown Winter Haven, and what the city has done to that area. So not only is it for a good cause, but the surroundings are pretty neat too.
Absolutely. So one of the coolest things about this is we are actually going to be the first 5K to go through their newly constructed Magnolia Park and South Central Park. These were just constructed this past year, and we're going to be the first ones to get to utilize it.
There's a Friday night kind of kickoff party, and then the event itself on February 2nd on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6. But let's go through it. What does Friday night look like? Who's invited to that, and what's Saturday look like?
So Friday night, this will be the third year in a row that we've opened it to the public at 6 o'clock. Originally, it was just for the sponsors. So the sponsors will come in, and we'll have a special area for them because they are, funding the club, and this event helps us, say thank you to them, and we have a really good dinner for them to have, and there's going to be Duke Burr and T. Michael doing their show during the dinner, and then afterwards we're going to have the 1969 band, and they're going to be playing on the main stage, which I'd like to talk about because the main stage this year is not going to be inside the tent like it has been in the past. It's going to be outside, and it's a pretty big deal, and I don't know if we can see that or not, but the stage is going to look like this year.
It's a big venue.
It's going to make the whole venue feel different, and we're thinking it's going to be the next big thing for us.
The event taking the next level
step, yes. Yeah. Then Saturday morning, we're going to have the event open at 10 a.m. and we've got bands starting, and they'll be playing throughout the day, various bands. And then the barbecue competition will be, the award ceremony will be at 6 o'clock, and it'll be on the main stage. So during the day, obviously, we're going to have barbecue for people to try.
It's just a bright new day in Winter Haven. Michael, we've had some good times at some of the older establishments and venues and facilities, but we're seeing some huge changes in Winter Haven right now, and we could talk about so many of the things, from the tennis complex to the water ski site to the new park downtown is just absolutely phenomenal, that you spearheaded through, and now the field house and conference center. This is a game changer for Polk County, let alone, or for Winter Haven, let alone Polk County. I mean, this is absolutely huge. Tell us a little bit about what's going on and the field house, conference center, construction timeline, and all of those good things.
Certainly. Well, first of all, thanks for having us on today to talk about what's happening in Winter Haven, because I think it's the impact of this stuff is not Winter Haven. The impact of this is Polk County and even well beyond. It definitely puts a new star on this area of Central Florida. And as you mentioned, lots of big things in Winter Haven over the past few years. The tennis complex, downtown park, Lake Maud Park, lots of new programs, but the biggest by far, probably one of the biggest projects the city has ever even embarked on is this field house and conference center. This is a great partnership, as you know, with the Board of County Commissioners and the TDC. They're a huge funding partner in this. Sports Marketing is our marketing partner in this. The Lakeland Magic, it's going to be their training home once it's all completed with the construction. But this is about an 87,000 square foot little addition we're putting onto the existing Chain of Lakes complex. That building is about 56,000 square feet. So we are more than doubling the size of that with this beautiful new Fieldhouse Conference Center. Started construction back in October. I think you guys carried some footage for that. We went out for a groundbreaking. I tell people all the time, I expect to see a little pile of dirt. We're going to stick some shovels in it, and I get out there, earth has been moved. Everything has changed on the scene, and Rada Construction and Everett Whitehead and Son paired up on this to do the construction work. They got underway, and we've got some footage showing here of just the time lapse the county has been able to capture on this site. But we've got two great local contractors that have partnered up to make this happen. We've got Strawn Trout Architects out of Lakeland. Tim Heft and his team have done an amazing job designing this facility. And when it's all said and done, You know, the number of athletic events and conventions, exhibitions and such that can happen in this space is really unlimited. I mean, only by the amount of hours in the day and the days in the year.
Well, Rob, we talked about the largest collegiate baseball tournament in the world and spring training in the world. And last year we had, or you had 240 teams, roughly, 235.
Right.
Somewhere in that range. How about this year?
270 teams coming down this year.
Oh my
1,100 games played over six weeks here.
1,100 games in 6 weeks.
Yep.
What is the biggest challenge in managing all of that? Because, you know, you've been here already getting organized and getting set up for this. You come in ahead of time so you get prepared for this barrage of teams coming down here.
It's everything. I mean, it's obviously all the great people at Polk County Sports Marketing help out a ton, getting all the facilities, getting the facilities ready to take that kind of amount of games in that short amount of time. Those guys work so hard, and we're very thankful for that. Our umpires as well. I was on an umpire call last night, and just the organization that goes into bringing all them down. And then, of course, all of the lodging partners are just
the
enormous.
Things that you wouldn't really think about.
Exactly.
You know,
It's
the
a lot.
umpires, how critical are they to the...
They're pretty important
and
to be able to play.
how many do you need for each game?
We have at least 2 for each game, and
Okay.
some of the games have 3 out there as well. So.
Wow.
Yep.
You know, that's unbelievable. Room nights, somewhere over 30,000.
Yeah.
30,000
Definitely over 30,000, and still a lot of the parents that we are not able, that don't book through us, that we're not able to track there. But yeah, there's you know, I mean, every person you see in the stands there is obviously down here from somewhere. So
Yes.
there's a lot of room nights being generated for sure.
Well, but the fact of the matter is, this race is another great family event on the shores of beautiful Lake Hollingsworth, and I just don't think it gets any better than that, particularly down by the new yacht club that's going up and across the lake from Florida Southern College.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is our 81st year, and an exciting year. And on the way here today, I was thinking about how we've kind of progressed over the last 20 or 30 years, and how then relating that back to years ago when I was a little bitty guy running around collecting the shotgun shells from the cannon that we would fire every so often. And thinking that what we've done with the fantastic support of Polk County Sports Marketing, the City of Lakeland, our particular committee, Central Florida Racing Club, with our officials and our volunteers, and where we've brought it to this next weekend is the fact that we have made it faster, bigger, and now we're going to see the results this next weekend.
We have a big party on Tuesday night for the Pro-Am participants that play in the 2 days of Pro-Am, Wednesday and Thursday. And then competition starts on Friday. We'll bring in 132 players, so we'll take advantage of that daylight savings time and get as many players out on the golf course as we can. And yeah, it should be a good week. It always is. The Florida's Natural has always kind of been our kickoff event to the season. This year we kicked off actually this week down in Port Charlotte with a new event that we're doing down there. But this is always an event that our players love coming to. The golf course, the country club at Winter Haven, went through the renovations they did about 3 or 4 years ago, and probably arguably, you know, one of the better golf courses that we play, you know, on our 24 events that we conduct over the year. So players excited because the golf course is always in great condition, and the hospitality that Florida's Natural extends to our players and to our staff is second to none. So we're kind of spoiled next week. It's really a good week.
And talk about the tour, because this is very important for all those 132 golfers that are coming from all over the world, I would presume.
Yep. We'll have typically we'll have about 30 countries represented. Just as a point of reference, kind of as how the tour has grown, as Mark can attest, being around it for a long time. You know, we started out just graduating 3 players to the LPGA Tour, and then it went to 5 players, and about 10 years ago it went to 10 players earned their card based upon their earnings over the previous year. Right now, sitting at number 1 on the LPGA money list is Nelly Korda. Nelly Korda is just 2 years removed from competing throughout the year on the Symetra Tour.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo, and the year review show. It's always one of our favorites, but to get to see, in a lot of these events are long-term relationships that have been here for quite a while in Polk County, and during the recruiting process are being brought back. So what you're seeing now, you're probably going to see again in 2020. But speaking of great partnerships, Hall Communications is the sponsor of this segment. Of course, 97.5, Max 98.3, Talk 1430, Talk 96.7, just some of the great stations that broadcast and great partners.
Well, we also have a radio show with them.
Yeah.
Sports talk show that's
every
top ranked.
Yeah, every Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. on Talk 1430 and Talk 96.7, and every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. on Talk 1430 and Talk 96.7. But,
Sam over here in the background gets
well,
to
him
be
and
a part of that
Mackenzie, yeah,
show.
him and Mackenzie do a great
give
job.
Give him a little plug there.
Yeah, but we don't allow him
They
on
do
TV
a great job.
very often.
no, he's got that radio face.
But as we look forward to this second segment of Sports Central, we talked about our great partner at Hall Communications, but you look at some of the segments we're going to highlight in this segment, more great stuff.
Well, the Ironman 70.3, what a big event that is, and boy, the people that we bring into the neighborhood hosting that event's just remarkable.
Well, a great partnership not only between sports marketing in the city of Haines City, but also the partnership with Ironman as well. But you look at Sun and Fun, you can't talk Lakeland, you can't talk Polk County without the Sun and Fun fly-in. Great event, second largest air show in the country. We also had Matt Holmes that we're going to see a part of that interview. Of course, he was the Florida Southern College national champion swimmer. So a lot of great stuff coming up. I'm excited to see this segment. Stick around. Hank and Neal will be right back here.
Got great stuff all show for you. So
absolutely, right here on Sports Central.
You're talking about people from, coming from the northern, but I'm always amazed at the number of foreigners that will travel overseas, and they'll have a vacation around this Ironman because they want to be in Central Florida, they want to be in Polk County, so they can go to the attractions, they can do all this type of stuff.
And they can race.
Yeah, and then they can do their favorite sport, or sports,
yes,
I guess. So any idea this year about different countries or how many foreigners are coming in?
We do have a lot of people from Europe and South America, and we opened up a new series in China, so we have a lot of people that are now involved with trying to get into age group racing and trying to compete to race towards our World Championships series. So we have a 70.3 World Championship that we host in different places each year, and then of course if they do our Ironman event, they get to go to Hawaii for our World Championship race out there.
Now, do the people that compete in this Ironman, do you have athletes at the skill level that they'll go from this one into the full marathon, the full Ironman?
Yes, a lot of them work their way up to that point, so 70.3s are a good way for them to train, even though their plan is to still do Ironmans that year. It still gives them time on the road and competing against people on their each segment of the race and seeing where they can better themselves. And
this is the 45th annual.
That's right, 45 years. What's interesting, the last couple of segments, I've got the pleasure of watching those guys and listening to how those interface with the community and how they support it. And we've got elements there as well. 45 years of volunteerism, really the whole thing began as a volunteer event. And the volunteers themselves, in effect, were the clients. But then you invite the public in, and they've got that great southern hospitality that Polk County here is famous for, and they just showcase that out. It just keeps them coming back year after year, and we share that with with the Ironman folks, and even the 5K that we were mentioning earlier in the program. We have the Sun and Run 5K happening out there at the airport now as part of the kind of the latest application of things that go well for the rest of the county. We're going to invite that in as well, so it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Well, you give people things to do and get them involved and engaged in the event, and it just makes for even a better event and a better turnout. And the number of people that come to this is what I find to be staggering. Like 200,000 people are going to be coming to this event.
It's astounding. We'll record over 80 countries will be represented, And not only that, recently in the last couple of years, we brought on another component of this, live air show TV, which has gotten, actually we're reaching out beyond the event itself. So it's a global broadcast. It streams live on the weekend program. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we get to showcase even more of what's going on at Sun and Fun here in Polk County. And of course, the folks like especially Visit Central Florida and our folks that Visit Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association are highlighted during that time. And that just invites more to come in to see what the others are getting to see. If they're not here, they're going to want to come next year.
Two-time national champion in the 400 individual medley. Talk about that event and what it's like to win it the first time, but then come back and defend your title.
Well, it's one of the toughest events out there, that's for sure. Having to do all 4 strokes and 100 of each, obviously. It's really something that I really didn't start swimming until probably my junior or senior year in high school.
Really?
So it's something that I really didn't think I was the best at, and apparently I am. But winning it my junior year was really special. I was going against the 3-time national champion before. And then to kind of come back from 2 seconds down, starting the freestyle leg of the race, and then winning it then by, I think, a 13th of a 100th, was really special. And then coming back my senior year and defending my title was really pretty sweet.
And Jackie, you know as well as anybody on the planet that it's hard to move the needle in September. People just don't travel.
Yeah, but they will to follow their child. And
exactly.
You have always said it, and you're preaching to the choir, because quite honestly, you will follow your child for baseball, softball, whatever. And we've all lived on those bleachers, but you may not go to the some week-long vacation, but you're going to take your child to their softball tournament, their soccer tournament, their tennis tournament, some of these unique sports tournaments. You follow your child where they want to go, and that brings in. And you've always said this, that that keeps us recession free, and it also gives us a really great opportunity to have all kinds of versatility with our groups coming in. We have a little bit of everything, and that is really, really done well for Polk County.
Tell us about some of the challenges and what can the folks expect, because that's what you've been all about. Is
yes,
telling
welcome
people.
to the world of putting on events.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's been a really great experience to partner with the Early Learning Coalition. So Lakeland Regional Health, what I do there is I'm the Trauma Continuum of Care Coordinator. So
Better
I do
say
a lot
that
of
slowly so Hank can understand.
Continuum of Care Coordinator. So a lot of my role is injury prevention and community outreach. So when I was asked to come into the group, it was really exciting because we really want to make this event family friendly, for safety as well. So we're going to have 2 different booths at the event. The first one is going to be focused on motorcycle safety, and we're going to have first responders actually there. It's going to be an interactive booth. We're going to be talking about some things that you can do before the actual first responders come if you were to actually witness a motorcycle crash, or if you yourself were a rider. What are things you can do to help prevent injury and promote safety, as well as car drivers, because really it's all of our responsibility to make sure that these motorcyclists stay safe on the road. And then the second booth is going to be really neat, because we were thinking, how can we bring in the family aspect? And so we really want to have something for the kids. So we're bringing in bicycle safety, and we're going to have a whole booth that has bicycle safety for children. But the main thing we're going to be doing at that booth is we have certified bike helmet fitters that are going to be there, and we're going to be giving away 100 bike helmets for kids 12 and under. Wow. So we'll actually fit them at the event and let them take their bike helmet home, as well as injury prevention material in a goodie bag. So it's exciting.
I was on a small boat, so that was a 10-person boat as opposed to the 20. The team that I was on, it was a all-women's boat, so I was on small boat, Senior Women B, and we were very lucky. I wouldn't say it's not luck, it was everything that we did to get there. But we won 2 bronze medals, so it was amazing. It was just absolutely amazing to be there. We were with all the other Team USA folks. It was just great to just cheer everyone on. The other countries were amazing. It was fabulous.
How do you?
Well, here's some of the results up here. Had the Aussies winning, and then Germany, United States, Great Britain, New Zealand, and Singapore. I mean, that's some great stuff. That's really truly an international event.
Yes.
I mean, it isn't like American football where they're playing Canada and a few other places. But there's some really cool shots here of some of the team holding up the U.S. flag, and
How do you get
That's
the
our
boat?
team. That's
how do you
my
get the boat
our
over there?
boat. That's a that's one of my favorite pictures right there. That's us coming around the corner on our last 500 of the 2000. But the organizations that put these on, no matter where you go, if it's in Tampa, Orlando, Vancouver, doesn't matter what state you're in, the organization that puts on the event will bring the boats in. If you probably don't know what a dragon boat looks like, you're probably not paying attention to it, but you probably have been on 75 or I-4, and there's been, you know, a truck just hauling them, taking them. For this part, for the United States, a lot of them come out of Canada. So they bring them in for the event, and then they take them back.
Today, we're here to talk about what's happening with indoor soccer, the Lakeland Tropics.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very, very busy off season. So winning the national championship, I think this is the first time I've come back even since we won that.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was obviously a very, very exciting time for the organization. And, you know, a national league, anytime you're going in, there's a lot of suspense and intensity. And it definitely kind of set the bar high for us now going into the indoor season. So very, very busy off season. We signed 11 of the top 25 free agents in the league. Basically just took superstars from every other team and said, all right, well, we won it on the outdoor side. Now there's no messing around. The goal this season is to win the MASL championship on the indoor side. Absolutely.
Now, how do you recruit them? I mean, how are you able to steal them away and get them on your team?
Well, we got lucky. This was a huge free agency period. You know, every 3 years or so when contracts go up, all the guys get, you know, opened up basically and become free agents. So this was a very, very big period. So actually the owner, Dr. Yacovides, I mean, he and the head coach really spent hours watching film, identifying what players they want, and then, you know, Chris and I and Clay in the front office go after the players, and, you know, we reach out to them and we try to contact them and find out what they're feeling. And here is an interesting situation because we have the weather, right? That's probably the main reason these guys are in Kansas City, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Utica. I mean, the biggest thing we have to offer here is, well, you know, they always walk out of the arena on the away teams and say, well, why don't we live here, play here? So we do have that little bit of sell, but, you know, with no training facility here in Polk County, they have to travel to Orlando. So that does become a little bit of a hard sell sometimes. But we just kind of, once you sign one big name, which for us this year was Gordy Gerson, probably debatably first or second best player in the league. He was that first guy.
Where is he from?
So he is actually, I think he's from the Midwest originally, from Chicago area, but he's leading goal scorer in the league. I mean, he is just an amazing player to watch. He scored 6 goals on us in the Orlando game last season, the only time that we lost to them at home. So we said, all right, well, we want him on our side now, scoring against Orlando in the opener. So once you got him, the rest of it was kind of a domino effect, and everybody said, let's buy into what the Tropics are trying to do this year and come down to Florida.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo as we continue the year in review 2019.
Well, I'll tell you, it's just you watch these events and there's just one great event after another. We have a whole year filled with them, and that's what makes this show so much fun, is getting to show our audience out there a recap of all the things that have gone on this year. And boy, we bring in over, how many events a year? 250?
Yeah, this year would be 270 plus. Wow. So the first few segments here have been some of the studio interviews, and as we look towards this third segment with those events that you were talking about, Hank, but we want to thank the great folks at People's Barbecue for sponsoring this third segment of Sports Central, and you can never go wrong eating at People's.
You can never go wrong eating at People's, and great supporters of the event. Well, hey, we've got baseball that people are going to get to check out.
Yeah,
RustMat, our big event of the year.
College spring training.
What, 280 teams come in?
Yeah, it's a huge event, and it really affects the entirety of Polk County, especially in the height of the college spring training. Of course, the Symetra Tour, Ironman. We saw the interview for Ironman, but we're going to see some of the footage from the Ironman event. And of course, the Homeschool World Series, we're excited. We've actually been able to extend that relationship. So RustMat has been extended. They are under a partnership with Polk County for the next 15 years. Homeschool World Series is a 3-year extension to that. Wilson Premier. So again, it's not just about securing an event, recruiting an event into Polk County. It's also about maintaining those relationships and keeping them in
coming
Polk
back
County
year after year.
And of course, one of the greatest football players of all time, Ken Riley from Bartow.
Yeah, boy, I don't know what's taking him so long to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't know either, but the event that he hosts each year, I believe it's in the May time frame, he brings in Hall of Famers, he brings in celebrities from all over the National Football League. It's a great event. And of course, we talked earlier about Sun and Fun, so we're going to see some action. Of course, we're looking forward to the 2020 version of Sun and Fun. But Hank, once again, they don't want to hear us. They want to see the action.
Check it out.
All right.
I'm Rob Seitz. I'm the president of Rustmat Baseball. We bring in about 230 college teams down here over a 6-week period and play about 1,000 games during that time frame. The biggest thing is these guys getting down to this weather. A lot of them are from the Northeast, and a lot of dealing with snow and haven't been out on the field yet. So these guys are excited to get down here in this weather, these beautiful facilities that we have here in Polk County, and get out there and play some baseball. And a lot of them do a lot of practices as well while they're here. So.
So the week before we were supposed to go to Shenandoah, it got canceled because of snow, actually. Rescheduled the game, but we're able to come down here in beautiful weather and actually get out on the field. We were outside back home, but on turf and not actually on our home field. But it's nice to be able to get down here in the weather and play games. We'll play 8 games in 7 days. And that's big for us to be able to try to play a 40-game schedule. We're allowed 40 games.
Through a registration process there. Then they kind of choose game schedule, what they want to play, when they want to play, how many games they want to play each day, if they want to practice or play games, and then we put together that schedule for them. So it's really not a tournament format per se. It's more of just come down. You want to play 12 games over 7 days, we'll set that up for you. If you want to play 5 games over 8 days, we'll set that up for you. So we take care of the coaches on their scheduling and put that all together for them.
Amazing players. All of them are amazing players that were playing behind me, and I didn't know, what they could do or what they were doing, so I kind of just had to focus on my own game and shoot as low as I possibly could to kind of put myself in a good position, which I ended up doing, and it's crazy because, thinking back to some of the shots I hit, it was just, it seemed like it came effortlessly, and I think just because I was so present.
Today is the Haines City 70.3 half Ironman. So it's 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and a half marathon in the hills of Haines City.
I am from Katy, Texas. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and Haines City is actually a really nice city. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, just because I don't hear much about it.
Haines City's doing great. They're amazing. They treat us well. It's a great venue. I mean, like I said, you just can't beat it. I mean, with the location like this, making it spectator friendly, it might be the best event on, I would say, from a family perspective, where they can keep up with their athlete, and Haines City's just awesome.
The people is amazing, the support, the town, and the run, the thrill run, the people were amazing.
This is the only course that actually has an MDOT basically swim course. So it's basically just due to the depth of the water for safety for athletes, for boats to be able to get to those certain athletes. If it was a higher, water, we had a lot of rain, then it possibly we could do an out and back. But with this, we create an MDOT. It is a little confusing, but once the athletes get to do the practice swim and feel it out, it's pretty easy.
This is our 19th year. This organization was started in the year 2000 with 6 teams in Nashville, Tennessee. The teams are, I'd say, mostly coached by dads. Some hire professional coaches, but it's mostly a homeschool enterprise. Very few of them have any facilities of their own. They practice at city fields or whatever fields they can find, and most of them play some play public school teams and other private school teams in their states, and this is sort of the big event that a lot of these teams plan for and finish up their season with.
Well, we love coming down to Auburndale and to Polk County and to the facilities here, number one, because they're excellent facilities. And number two, for us, it just gives us a chance to play teams from around the country and come to a centralized location where we can spend a week together, competing at the game we love. And I know in a lot of the states where homeschoolers play on their own individual teams, there's not a state association or a state championship that you play for, so this becomes kind of like our national championship at the end of the season. And coming to Polk County gives us a great opportunity again to come to a place with great weather, great facilities, and the people here are just great to have us down and welcome us as they do.
You should see my garage. It is loaded with just going around the country playing golf, raising funds to help other people. And believe me, when Ken called me and said, I need you, I said, I'll be there. And that's why I'm here, because a lot of people need our help, and I'm willing to give it.
Well, I'm actually a 6-time World Long Drive finalist, golf trick shot entertainer, and professional player. So I have 3 different dynamics that I use, both for charity functions, corporate outings, member guest tournaments, you name it. But today we're out here for the Ken Riley Foundation, and Ken gave me a personal phone call. We had met at the Larry Little Foundation tournament down in Miami, and he thought I'd be a fun fit to help raise some money for his foundation here in Lakeland. So he's doing good things for the community. So today we are doing trick shots. I'm more like the Harlem Globetrotters of golf, in effort to help them raise some extra funds.
Be sure to stop by one of the many souvenir outlets to pick up all of your Sun and Fun souvenirs, hats, t-shirts, and toys. All right, the planes are going up and the show's about to start, so we'll pass this on to you guys back in the studio.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central, and it's our year in review, 2019, and the
Boy,
show's
it's just-
flying by like the year did.
Oh man, it's just zipping right along, and you know, just to think that that's just a small smidgen preview of all the events that we've had going on this year, that we try to pick out some of the most fun ones, but boy, we're just packed from one end to the other.
Yeah, and we talked about the 270 plus events that are recruited, partnered with, sponsored, something to do with 270 plus events. We couldn't do it without our great attractions and our accommodations, and we want to thank the Holiday Inn Winter Haven for their partnership of this segment.
Well, we've got some neat stuff coming up. We've done it all year long with our Athlete Spotlight recap, and what's so neat about this segment that we bring into every show is just to see the talented young kids that we've got here in Polk County.
You're absolutely right, and it's amazing. I went to the bar, you know, my allegiance to Bartow. My son goes there, my kids or whatever, and this year will be the 10-year anniversary of that team that you love so much from Bartow, Sam Marippus, and so time flies by is my point.
Has it really been 10 years
But
since then?
it's been 10 years, but unfortunately last night, talking about the great athletes that continue to be produced here in Polk County, Victory Christian coming up just short in the state championship game, but a great season by all Polk County high school football teams. But this Athlete Spotlight gives us a chance to go in and get to know some of these student athletes a little better. It's not just what you see on the field. There's obviously a person there, and to hear their stories.
And their academic success along with being great athletes. So you're going to really enjoy this Athlete Spotlight coming up.
We'll be right back here on Sports Central.
I think the most hard part is staying focused, because for me, like if the gym's like full, I get really nervous and I just I want to pay attention, but I know I have to focus in the game. Or like if somebody else has a bad attitude on the court, I try to keep them positive so they can focus, so I can focus. Because volleyball, it's not just a one-person sport, it's a team sport.
You can't let your age determine your level of movement and ability, and you got to put those fears aside. Just like competing, you got to put fears aside and do it. You have to probably explore with different gyms and coaches what you really want to do, and then have them work with you. I mean, people go to some of the other gyms and just go in there and do, mechanical, like hamster on a treadmill type thing, and don't get any better, don't lose any weight. So you have to, it's more than just going to the gym, it has to be focused.
I started, I think, when I was 8 years old, and in China they have a summer camp. My parents see that, and they just registered me, and I tried out, and I like it, and just how I get it to. My parents would like to get better education and better environment, and that's why we came here. For now, I live in Orlando, and I go to school to Wenger and back and forth on the weekend. I practice 3 times during week, and on the weekend I practice like 6 hours. The coach says I have like really good talent, and they just want me to play as I go.
I had never touched a rifle before in my life, and it was something totally out of my comfort zone. So I decided to try something new, and it was a really good decision. It was actually really difficult. There's a lot to learn about safety, especially in the parts of the rifle, but mostly how to control your shots, and the mental part of the sport was the hardest.
You can't think too much on the score, you just have to go with it, have fun. That's the most important part, and just learn from mistakes. Take it one shot at a time.
I love the challenge. You know, it's always a challenge when you're shooting, you know. Like you shoot really good one day, the next day something comes up and you have to work through it, and it's a good time, I like it. You know what they say, consistency is key, so you always try to keep everything the same no matter what you're doing. Make little changes, you know, little change here, little change there. If it improves, keep doing something like that. If it doesn't, go back to, you know, your consistency.
I think the hardest part in playing soccer is definitely staying in shape, because once we go on break or once we take some days off, you come back and you're really out of shape. So you have to like maintain you being fit and all that. Runs are really important. They really keep you in shape. Working out as well, going to the gym. You can also always contact your teammates. Hey, come on, let's go for a jog. Let's go run in the park. Play indoor soccer. That's always an option.
There's so much I love about soccer. It teaches you just so much about not only the sport, but just life, how to deal with challenges, leadership, learning to bond with your teammates. You get so many friendships throughout playing. It's crazy. You know you'll have them for the rest of your life, and that's really great. I think a soccer player, not only do they need physical qualities like stamina and hard working, but they need to have good personalities. Because you can be the best player, but if you don't have a great personality, or you don't want to take the time to lead or patience, then that could definitely stop your team from like working together as they need to do.
Well, I heard of kendo first, you know. It was the martial arts class. Recently we had a class, Aikido Jiu-Jitsu, taught by our colonel. It got canceled due to injuries and things, so I decided to take this class. And halfway through the year, I got more interested in stuff like that, and I started looking into outside of school kendo. And you know, that's when I started like getting familiar with this kind of stuff. I didn't know I liked it until like halfway through the year, and I just started getting more interested as the years progressed, and started helping Maida Sensei out and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it all began.
When I spar, I really don't think. I just observe at the person I'm an opponent, and if I see what movement they're planning to do or what they're trying to shoot, like hit me at, that's when my brain just go for whatever opening they have. When you scream at your opponent, you're basically telling him, get ready because I'm going to go for you. Hey.
You just got to work hard. Just the hard work, to be honest. It's consistent. Like, you can't stop. You got to keep going at it. Getting injured, I don't like being hurt, so like one time I hurt my knee. I had a strained ligament. Like, I barely could have walked, so it was kind of depressing, and I felt like I wanted to give up, but I got over it, just kept pushing.
So basically, like in the game, you just have to like forget everything else, just listen to your coach and make sure you're focused on the game. Like even though if there's a lot of people in the crowd, even if it's a big game, a lot of people saying things, you can't let that like get into your head, or other players trash talking get into your head. You just have to keep playing and focus.
I just say you work very hard, just work every day. Don't take no days off, just keep playing, and as long as you love it, it's gonna keep coming for you. Just make sure you're always focused, and because if you're not focused, everything's gonna crumble down. You have to make sure your schoolwork is first done, and then you do what you gotta do on the court and just work out and always put the extra shots up, because there's always someone out there working harder just as you.
Coach, he always pushes me and he tells me what I need and not to do, and it helps me a lot. My teammates are my sisters, and communication skills and like being motivated, being a good sport, sticking to the game, don't give up. It's just having faith in God and like good practices and good support. My parents are so embarrassing with that. Like they are so supportive of me and they'll do anything for me. I got injured last year and a lot of people thought I was gonna be able to run again, but I proved them wrong and I got more stronger.
I was born with the birth defect called spina bifida. Sometimes when people look at us, they say, oh, you can't do all these things and you can't do this and that, but we really can. It's just you do it in a different way.
We learned that Zach was going to be coming to Frostproof Middle Senior High School as a 6th grader, and knew that there was some adaptive opportunities for him inside of the track and field sport, that he could be able to compete in the district, regional, and state level. Being that we're a middle school, high school, it was a great opportunity for him to come and be able to participate all the way up through the state championships.
My first memory of playing volleyball, my sisters were playing, so I decided to try out my freshman year, and my whole family was surprised to know that I made JV my freshman year. It was scary because it was a new sport, but the girls are really welcoming. It's a good sport to play, make new friends. I think I stuck with volleyball because it's a very good program at Bartow, and the girls are a good group of girls.
I think I just like the whole team dynamic of the sport and really how everyone has a certain role to play on the team, and it's a total team dynamic, so you really need the support of everyone from the people on the bench and everyone on the court to really accomplish and win the game.
Football is like, it's a way out for me. Like, it's a way out for me. It's like, I can open up bigger doors, I can pay my mom back. It's like, it's a way out for me, so I never stop playing it. If I make it out, I can take care of my people. Like, so it's like, they always been there. My mom never missed a game. My grandma, she be there, she come to games. Everyone always out there supporting me. And then she tell me, like, I make her proud. Like, when I'm out there on the field, I make her proud. So I'm just trying to pay her back everything. You gotta be a leader. Cause like, people look up to you. Like, even if you don't expect it, like, they look up to you, not only on the field, but off the field, they look up to you too.
You have to be determined and hardworking. It's really not for everybody. There's a lot of times where you want to quit, but you just got to keep going. All summer long, you have to work out and maintain what you do. There is no stopping. You don't get really a summer break at all, and those are some of the hardest times where you just want to go and have fun like every other regular student. Go to the beach, do whatever, but you can't. You got to be here. You got to grind it out. I love the people I play with, and I love this team, and I want to do it for them. I want to make a great team. They're like brothers to me. I love all of them like my family. If I have any kind of problem, I know I can come to Coach Sass, Coach Lee, it doesn't matter, and they'll help me out in any type of way I need.
My mom came up with the idea of me doing football, and I was like, that's actually a really good idea. I can use my skills from soccer to help with to do football. So
my first impression was, yep, those are going through the uprights, this will work. In my background, I've been coaching girls weightlifting here for going on 4 years. Before that, when I was at Florida Atlantic in their strength conditioning department, I worked with a lot of female sports. So, that was not something that made a difference to me. It was just whether or not she could do the job. She's got a great mental outlook. She doesn't really let a lot of things rattle her. And obviously, I admire the bravery from my standpoint, stepping into what's naturally going to be an uncomfortable position just because you're not surrounded by any girls, and it's just the bravery to do that day in and day out and not bat an eye at it, and then step out on the field Friday nights when they're definitely trying to come after you and not blink an eye like that. That's something I admire, just looking up to it.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo, and it's hard to believe that this Sports Central and this 2019 year in review is coming to a close.
Saying goodbye to 2019.
I tell you, when you look at it, you really have to think about all the blessings that we've had. You look at the impact of Legoland over the last number of years and how they continue to reinvest. Bach Tower Gardens, their reinvestment and things like that, but also some new properties coming online, if you will. The Elite Cable Park.
Yep, over at the let me see, would that be the south end of Lake Myrtle?
Yeah.
Where it would be
South,
by the dog
west,
park
by
over
the Parkway,
there, and
yeah.
Cable Park. Just a great opportunity for people to get the opportunity to learn to wakeboard. They've got a.
Well, you don't have to have a boat.
You don't have to have a boat. They got a
Yeah.
guarantee that they'll teach you how to do it. Then they've got tantrums right there on the lake. A beautiful place to have lunch, and
Absolutely.
it's one of the new and exciting things that's going on here in the county.
Definitely want to check that out, and of course, opening up now with the Lakeland Magic Training Facility. They're in the Winter Haven Fieldhouse, but they take up a very small percentage of available court time. So a lot of events recruited for by sports marketing for 2020. So we're excited for that. The grand opening for the public will be January 4th. So you'll hear more information about that. But of course, in 19, the construction of the Winter Haven Fieldhouse and Conference Center. Great partnership between the city of Winter Haven, of course, the county. Can't say enough about the Tourism Development Council, the Board of County Commissioners, Mr. Freeman's leadership as county manager, and now Mr. Beasley's leadership as county manager. Just a great team coming together for that facility. Going to be a game changer on the east side, not just the east side of the county in Winter Haven, but really the entirety of the county.
Exactly, and just in addition to the quality of life for the people here in Polk County. I mean, just not bringing in events and having teams being able to utilize this facility, but people in the community get to enjoy it well, and the expansion of the Winter Haven Theater and how that's going to be so much better.
If you haven't been there, go January 4th when the public is invited for that grand opening, because it is truly unbelievable what that partnership of the county and the city has done. And as you said, not only the quality of life local aspect, but all 40 plus events being recruited for 2020 as we sit here now. So that economic impact, those new dollars coming into our community is fantastic. And of course, you know what they do when they come in: they shop, they eat, they stay, they bring in those new dollars into Polk County, so everyone benefits. And as a reminder, as we head into season, get a lot of visitation in Polk County. Remember, tourism is the reason we don't pay personal income tax in the state of Florida. So greet them warmly, because they save us a lot of money.
Yes, they do.
And make us a lot of money too.
Yeah, and while you're visiting, I want to remind everybody to stop by, check out our visitor center up there on Highway 27, just a little south of I-4.
1.5 miles south of I-4 and Highway 27.
Yeah, exactly. And discount attraction tickets up there. So if you're having
holiday
folks coming
season,
in from out of
Christmas,
town, that's where you want to go get your attraction tickets. And plus, it's just a great information center, so you can learn all about the county, and you'd be surprised some of the things that go on here that you never knew existed.
Well, we want to make sure that you go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org for a full list of events coming up, or as Hank said, go to the Visitor Information Center and visit with Justin and his crew. They do a fantastic job, and we guarantee you will find out things about Polk County that you either didn't know existed, you didn't know were here, or you've never experienced, because we've got some great stuff.
Yeah,
we've got some great sponsors as well.
Some great sponsors. Want to thank them. The Trophy Shop, Extend Stay America, Cleveland Heights, The Ledger, and Hampton Inn in Winter Haven. Can't thank them enough.
Absolutely, great partners of tourism and sports marketing, and we couldn't do what we do without great partnerships in Polk County, because if we're all moving in the same direction, then we all realize the same goals and the fruits of those labors. But we want to remind everybody, go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org, or give us a call at 863-551-4750, or come out to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park in Auburndale and visit the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. It's a great facility.
And the Auburndale Chamber that just moved in with us too.
Absolutely, and you'll be able to experience that, and not too long from now, you'll be able to come out there for Florida Youth Soccer Association events at Lake Myrtle, Russ Mat Baseball, either at Lake Myrtle or the Channel Lakes, the Winter Haven, the new Field House. Feltram Sports, they're getting ready this month to open up their new facility, their championship field up there. Of course, they're on site there at Balmoral. So many great things to look forward to in 2020. The next live edition of Sports Central will be January 10th. And I have a sneaky suspicion we might be able to see the inside of the new Winter Haven Fieldhouse and Conference Center. We already talked about our radio shows on Talk 1430 and Talk 96.7 Tuesday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. and Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. So if you can, tune into that station for more Sports Central. For Hank Longo, I'm Neal Duncan. Thank you for tuning in. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2020.